Hey everybody, I'm Karen Flanagan, President of Beaumont-Orange County. Hope everyone's doing well. We're going to give it just a minute and give everybody a chance to log on and we'll get started. Okay, let's get going. So it's time to get the program started. Again, I'm Karen Flanagan with Greenlaw and your 2020 President for Beaumont-Orange County. Welcome to our last virtual town hall of the year. We hope you enjoyed the I'm Grateful deck played at the beginning of the program. It's been quite a challenging 2020 and it's really great to hear everybody's sentiments and fun and positive thoughts from our members and sponsors, and we thank everybody for participating in that. So we're changing it up for this last event. Rather than have a full panel, we have a special guest speaker, Matthew Emerzian, founder and CEO of Every Monday Matters. Excited for that. Before we get started though, I wanted to direct your attention to the screen and then thank and acknowledge today's sponsors. Today's Speaker Circle event sponsors are Able Services, ABM, Allied Universal, and MCOR Services, MCOR Mesa. The event sponsor is Blue Sky Restoration. So thank you so much, sponsors, for supporting us for this event. We'd also like to thank Beaumont-Orange County's annual partners, sponsors. Beaumont-Orange County's educational events would not be possible at all without your support. So thank you so much. And a big thank you to the committee who put together the program today. So we have this wonderful event to end the year out. Upcoming events, if you take a look at your screen, we have two last in-person socially distanced events coming up in December. On December 10th, we're hosting a year-end event at the winery at the Tustin at the district. This event's going to be limited to the first 100 people who sign up. I'm trying to keep it as safe as possible. So if you're interested, please sign up as soon as possible. It's outdoors on the patio, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody who can attend and network and toast the year. On December 16th, we also have a drive-through event to support Operation Blankets of Love, a charity who supports animals who are homeless in shelters and rescue groups. This will be hosted by Beaumont-Orange County's Charity Committee, Philanthropy Committee. So we hope you can stop by and make donations for our drive-through holiday light show. Families and children are, of course, welcome to join in the fun. Okay, so thank you again for joining for today's program. We look forward to hearing from our speaker, Matthew Emerzian, teach us about life and through the lenses of I matter, you matter, and we matter. Before I turn it over to Matthew, please ensure you stay on to the very end of the program as Beaumont-Orange County's past president, Stacey Nishioka, will be raffling off some amazing opportunities to win a 15-minute Zoom meeting with one of the following VIPs. Herself, Stacey Nishioka, Senior Director of Portfolio Operations at the Irvine Company, Melanie Colbert, Principal at LBA Realty, Peggy Sanchez, Managing Director at River Rock Real Estate Group, Angela Gomez-Jones, Director of Property Management at Link Logistics Real Estate, and one more surprise VIP. In addition, Matthew will autograph books and send them to 10 lucky raffle winners. And Beaumont-Orange County will send an email tomorrow to the winners. Now I'd like to introduce our speaker for this afternoon, Matthew Emerzian, a life changer and motivational speaker. Matthew is the founder and CEO of Every Monday Matters, whose employee engagement program is changing the culture of companies nationwide. His work has been hailed by Oprah.com, The Today Show, Fast Company Magazine, Hallmark TV, Maria Shriver's Sunday Paper, and several other media outlets. Over the past 10 years, Matthew has traveled the country sharing his unique story and insight on finding purpose. His life-changing messages focus on sustained personal and social change that happens by stepping outside of ourselves. Thanks so much. Welcome, Matthew.
Thank you, Karen. Thanks for having me. And I love that video. It's amazing how many of you are grateful for toilet paper. And it's these life's little things that maybe we didn't appreciate as much before COVID, but we certainly do now. Yeah, so I'm going to be spending about 50 minutes with all of you, and I'm honored to be here and to, I guess, kind of meet all of you. And again, like I think the video the I'm grateful video just really kind of set the tone, and a beautiful tone for this gathering, and for what I want to talk about, which based on my I guess my intro bio, you can kind of get a sense that you know, I try to talk about things like purpose and meaning and significance and heart and mattering. And so we're going to spend some time together kind of going through these ideas of I matter, you matter, we matter. And I'm going to share my screen with you because I put together some slides here. And also just kind of put it out there that there's going to be some moments in here where you guys can chat. And again, I don't want this to necessarily be just me talking the whole time. I would love for you to all engage as you feel comfortable. But I think that the more we all engage and see this as a conversation, that I think the more that we all get to learn about each other, we get to connect more deeply. And it just kind of creates a very special place for in a virtual setting that can kind of feel so isolating. We can still connect in a very rich way. And so please, if you feel, you know, brave and courageous, don't be bashful. And those moments come up, please do share. Again, I'm Matt Emerzian, and I am the founder and CEO of a nonprofit called Every Monday Matters. And our mission as a nonprofit is to create a world where everyone knows how much and why they matter. And right now we do that primarily through helping companies with their corporate cultures to create environments where their employees feel like they matter at work. And then our biggest program is actually a K through 12 education program. And we reach over 2 million students nationwide with a free social emotional learning curriculum for students and for teachers. And we're about to pilot 2 other programs. One was going to go into prison systems to help people there understand how much and why they matter. And also we're about to launch a program into assisted living facilities as well, because we have a senior population today that doesn't feel like they matter anymore. And we believe that they do. So that's enough about who we are and what we do. For today, we're going to talk about these 3 fresh perspectives of I matter, you matter, we matter. I'm going to kind of give you the backstory on them. And this is kind of stuff I don't talk about very often. So it's fun for me too, to reflect in preparation for this, to kind of reflect back on how is it that these perspectives even came about and why they matter so much to us. So all of you can really understand like the essence of who we are. We're talking about the concept of time very briefly, and then we're going to kind of get into some personal action commitments and professional, and then we're going to put this all together. So I always like to do something in the beginning just to get the engagement started. So if you don't mind in the chat, what is one word that you think the world needs more of today? And I'm going to open up my chat so I can see, I can see what you're all saying. So what's one word that you think the world needs more of today? Understanding. I like it. I'm not sure if they're just coming in slowly or if we're being really bashful. Because right now we need understanding. Any other? I'm wondering. Oh, chat is disabled for some people, it says. I'm not sure if anyone can check that, but it looks like chat's disabled. I'm checking the Q&A. Okay, here's a couple coming in here. Forgiveness, patience, right? Compassion, kindness. love, peace, kindness, compassion, more waves, nice. Reasonableness, love, motivation. Okay, cool. So we might have to just use this Q&A functionality unless maybe we can get the chat function working, but we'll play around with that. Again, we need patience. And so what's interesting about these words for us at Every Monday Matters, what we do is we ask this question all the time. We ask this to hundreds of people, thousands of people a year. And the reason why we ask this is because it really gives us a sense as an organization of what are people feeling? What do they feel like that this might be lacking in their lives or in our communities or in the world, et cetera. And it ends up really shaping the programming that we create, because everything that we do is based off a monthly theme. And so what we do is we look at words like this, and we end up picking 12 of them every year to have those be our monthly themes. And then we bring these themes into companies and schools, et cetera, because this is what the finger on the pulse is saying what we need. So I'm going to jump into a little bit of a backstory here. And so okay, it looks like the chat now should be able to work. Okay, thank you. So I'm not going to go too far into my story, except for the part of my story where after I finished business school at UCLA, got my MBA, I had some career choices to make, and I ended up picking one that was not the obvious one, but I decided to turn down every six-figure offer I received and to manage my friend's band. So I became a band manager with an MBA from the Anderson School of Management, which you clearly don't need an MBA to do that. But there was something about this opportunity that I really thought could be something special. This band got multiple record deals. It was a lot of fun. I then met a gentleman by the name of Robert Kardashian, and Robert ended up hiring me as a senior vice president of his major music company, promotions company. And I went then from working from these, startup bands to now I'm working for Robert Kardashian. I'm working on projects for U2 and Avril Lavigne and Tim McGraw and Usher and Coldplay. And my life went to this very, very fast and furious place. If any of you ever watched the show Entourage, it was kind of like what my life was like. I'd be working hard all day in the office, and at night we'd have dinners and client dinners, and then parties and after parties and after parties. And I'm not proud of saying this, but I will share my truth with all of you that if I reflect back on those times, the way I defined success was make a lot of money, have nice things, drive a nice car, have a house in the Hollywood Hills, be single, and just have fun selfishly. And this was kind of how I thought success looked like. And at that stuff, I was successful. But what I learned on a Monday morning when I woke up to get ready to go to work, as I was tying my shoes, I felt my heart seize up. I couldn't breathe. I started sweating profusely. I ended up driving myself to the doctor. And what I learned was that I was having a massive panic attack. And my panic attack turned into chronic anxiety disorder and depression. So this dream life that I thought I had created for myself came crashing down, in a night's sleep. And I went through some very, very dark years. I was actually living down in Aliso Viejo at the time. And I went through some very, very dark years. And I met an amazing therapist. I call her my expensive friend. I think everyone should have an expensive friend. And she gave me this motto to my recovery, and that was to live a life that wasn't about me. And as a narcissist at the time, working in a very narcissistic industry, saying that it's not about me didn't make a lot of sense. And the way that she taught me this was that every Saturday I had to go do something out in the world that wasn't about me. So I'd go pick up litter, I'd read to elderly, I'd paint over graffiti, I'd feed homeless people. And this weekly dose of doing something what not about me is what allowed me to find myself again and find this greater purpose and meaning for my life. And so from that place, I ended up writing my first book 12 years ago called Every Monday Matters, 52 Ways to Make a Difference. And with that book, all of a sudden this kind of swell started happening, and this, I hate the word movement because I think it gets overused, but this small happening began, and people started coming to me looking for more and wanting to be involved with this. And so I came up with the idea of You Matter. And that became the first perspective of really that I started using and as a tagline for everything we did. And my thought at the time was pretty simple, was that if enough of us understood that we mattered, that we could change the world with the little things that we do. And so if if each of us picked up one piece of litter on any given day, in our country, that'd be over 300 million pieces of trash that were picked up like in a collective second. And so it was really about changing the world through our simple actions. And that's kind of where this whole thing started for me with Every Monday Matters. And then as I started getting further along down this journey, and all of a sudden schools started reaching out and companies started reaching out, and it became a nonprofit organization, this whole idea of You Matter kind of started to grow for me. And then it went to this idea of I Matter. And this came about a couple of different ways for me. With that first book, this is like over 10 years ago now, that I learned that a judge up in Northern California had purchased the book, and they were using it with a group of convicted felons up in Northern California. So the judge asked me if I would come speak to them, which I offered to do. And I remember walking in the room that day. It was in a courtroom, and they opened up the side door, and these men and women walked in their prison jumpsuits and their waist chains and ankle chains and handcuffs, and it was just this horrible thing to see. I'd never seen people like that before. And they came in, they sat down, and the judge is like, "Okay, Matt, please feel free to share." And in that moment, all I could do was think about was to tell them that they mattered, because I was saying you matter to everybody, and so I just did it with them. And then this convicted felon, he stood up and he said, "Listen, can I talk to you really quickly? And can I say something?" I said, "Of course." And he said, "I want you to know that no one's ever told me that I matter before. And that's why I ended up where I am today." And he just started sobbing. And all of a sudden, these two words of I matter started just ringing in my ears, that I think this idea that I matter, like, why do I matter? Do I ever ask myself that question? Why do I matter? And so I really started thinking about that concept. At the similar time, I saw this thing online that there was a children's choir from Watoto, Africa coming, and they were looking for chaperones in Los Angeles in Orange County. And so I volunteered to house some of these boys, and they were 5 and 7 years old. They were orphan children from Uganda, and they sang in a choir. And so these kids stayed with me for a week, and you can imagine, like, by the end of the week, they were like poster kids for Every Monday Matters. They had wristbands, hats, t-shirts, everything. And then I got this idea to ask them, and I said, "Hey, you guys, if someone were to ask you, why do you matter, what would you say?" And the 5-year-old said, "I matter because I love to dance. And when I dance, it makes people happy." And I will tell you that this little boy danced, brushing his teeth, eating dinner, no matter what he was doing, he was dancing. And for a week, he brought me joy just to watch him do it. And then his brother said, "I matter because one day I'm going to change my country." And again, this was a 7-year-old orphan child who was already had this vision and purpose of wanting to change his country. And so now the You Matter went to You Matter and I Matter. And then finally, there was the We Matter. And as I was keynoting all over the country now, and I was getting to do things, like TED events and just amazing stuff. And I talked to people after I was done speaking, and they would come up to me and they're like, "Matt, this is exactly what I needed to hear today, because I don't know that I matter. I don't feel like I matter." And this became this like universal, like almost hole in the collective hearts of people that I was feeling. And I knew that it was something much bigger than just the I, the you, that it was also the we. And then I met this amazing woman. You might have seen her on Oprah. Her name is Dr. Tara I. Trent. And Tara I. Trent her story is phenomenal, but the short version is that Oprah ended up giving her $1.5 million to build a school for girls in Zimbabwe, which was one of Terrorized Dreams. And she taught me about the term Ubuntu. And the idea of Ubuntu, if you haven't heard of it, is that I am because of you, or we are because of we. That my existence or any of your existence, it's only through how we experience each other that we really have this human journey. And if we didn't have this ability to experience each other, then life would be something completely different. And so all of a sudden, then I had the we. And there's the I, the you, and the we. And again, I don't talk about that stuff very often. So you've really kind of gotten to see under the hood of Every Monday Matters, but also kind of this journey that I've been on. And now you have a much bigger understanding of how it is that we do everything at Every Monday Matters. And so now what I want to kind of do is, after I've given you all that background, is to shift this a little bit to slightly more of a workshop, if you will. And again, it looks like the chat's working, which makes me super happy, because I'm going to really ask for you all to engage with me here to make this as powerful as we can. So the first thing I want to do is I just want to talk about these ideas of I, you, and we a little bit here. And I just, for now, if you want to just reflect about it or think about it. But on a personal note, I want to just read these words. Just kind of be still with it. I'm unique and one of a kind. I am perfect and perfectly imperfect. I am worthy and belong. I am valued and valuable. I am me. I matter. Now, again, for some of us, those words might not feel super comfortable. And sadly, most people that I've met along this 10-year journey, they're like, whoa, like those are big words. I don't know that I really feel these things all the time. But I'm here to say to you that I hope that you do feel these words, or at least identify with them, and know that it is possible for you to feel all of those things. And I think that all of us want this more than ever. If I look at it from a professional perspective, when you look at the I matter, I was put in this role for a reason. I will share my truths. I will honor my feelings. I will make mistakes, and that's okay. I have what it takes. I am not alone. I matter. Now, again, maybe some of these things feel a little foreign for you. Maybe there's some struggles there. I know that we live in this perfectionist world, right? Like making mistakes. Ooh, I don't know if I want to make mistakes. So as you think about these statements, if you don't mind, and you can't unmute, but you can share in chat, just anything come up for you as you're hearing these words in this kind of I matter, kind of very internal place for yourself. Is anything coming up for you? I'm going to kind of have the Q&A and the... Anything? There we go. Faith. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Well, we're gonna move on again. Don't be bashful, everybody. So next we're gonna go to the you matter. And so if the I matter was this kind of center ring, just like right around me, then the you matter would be this next ring outside of me. And it starts to look at things like our relationships and how we impact people. So on a personal level, your words have impact. Your presence is felt. Your relationships matter. Your actions speak loudly. Your powers are super. You matter. This is one of those things that I don't know that we all understand how powerful we are. We, of course, working with youth a lot as we do as well. One of my pet peeves, kind of a side note, but one of my pet peeves is you go to these school campuses back when kids were in school, and you'd see these bully-free zone banners. And it's like, you can bully over there, but not over here. And one of the things that every Monday matters that we've been so clear with is like, if you just help these students understand how powerful they are, and you help direct them to this place of, you can either put somebody down or you can lift somebody up, right? You can either do good or do bad. By nature, they want to choose to do good, and they start to see the power that it has. And it's not no longer about telling them what not to do, but telling them how to channel their superpowers in a way that's positive. And I think that us as adults are no different. And what's interesting about this concept, and some people might love me for it and also hate me for it, is that when you truly embrace how powerful you are, how powerful your words are, your actions are, your thoughts are, when you truly get that, the challenge for you then is like every day that you wake up, you have to acknowledge that. And it's a choice. And you get to choose how you're going to use those powers. And my hope is that as more of us become aware of these things, we start to make better choices. And I don't want to go to a political place, but if this past election is any sign that we have to do better at how we treat one another and how we communicate with each other, and the power of words and things, I think that we can all see that maybe we could be doing a better job as a humanity than we have been doing lately. Now let's go to professional. So as you think about professional, like maybe how you lead your teams, your compassion and empathy are everything. Your honesty matters. Your vision casting will steady the ship. You provide a service that people need. You can lead the way. You matter. So let's think for a second about and reflect on this a little bit, either personally or professionally. And if any of you would like to share some thoughts at the end, that's another one here that came in. Someone said, I was put in this role for a reason, resonates very strongly with me. I believe I am here to serve others. Yeah, that's awesome. I can set the example, absolutely. That's great. Any other reflections on these, on the you matter? You can make a real difference in someone's life. Absolutely. That's great. One of the things that happened for me, with COVID, and I know that, all of you have felt it for sure, but I got some amazing advice, was just a coach, a business mentor coach said, listen, Matt, you just have to be honest and just share your truth. And even if it's a little bit good, bad, and ugly, just put it out there and lead the way. And it was amazing how people responded, I think, to that sense of vulnerability and really like the empathy and willingness to kind of lead with heart. And it really seemed to calm things. That's why I said like it steadies the ship. It really seemed to calm the team to say, okay, Matt's in this, he's with us, and together we're gonna get through this. But I think that over communicating was a really huge win for us. I see here I'm blessed with a good job with generous compensation, and I feel I have to use that for helping those less fortunate. Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to go on to the next slide here, and we're going to get to the we. So we are part of something bigger. We are we because of one another. We are stronger together. We have much to learn. We have more to give. We matter. Again, it seems as though we live in a very divided time. and the we doesn't necessarily feel like a big we. There are people that don't feel a part of that we. Groups of people don't feel a part of that we. I saw something in the gratitude slides about wearing a mask. I think wearing a mask is a we perspective, and regardless of what our other beliefs are, the fact is that it's a we gesture to wear a mask, and again, those are choices we get to make. I see here making mistakes is okay, is a hard one for someone, absolutely. Sharing your life stories, testimonials, and encourage others walk through life with them. Love that. So when I really started seeing life as a we thing, it really did have a great impact on all of my choices. And number one, it got me out of my head, and I started to see this much bigger fabric of humanity. One of the things I struggle with actually is that my books, and I've written 3 of them now, and they always end up in the self-help section. And it just bothers me because I don't believe there's any such thing as just self-help, because I can work on myself all I want, but if I don't also look at how I exist in this social construct of relationships and communities and humanity, then I'm not really preparing myself to be my best self in real life. And so I believe that self-transformation and social transformation, they kind of come hand in hand with each other. So I wish there was like a self-help, social help section, and that my books would be found there. And now the professional. So we are in this together. We will do our best. We will make mistakes. We will cherish ideas. We will support one another. We will solve problems. We are a team. We matter. And maybe what I would love for on this one here, especially on the professional one, maybe there's some success stories out there. Maybe there was a moment that someone experienced here that was like, wow, like we really were a we, and look what we went through, look what we did together. Because I know it's been a challenging year, and I would venture to believe that there was a lot of we matter that helped push everyone and all the organizations through. So maybe if there's like a quick little story or something that happened that you really appreciated that you could share in the chat, that you experienced yourself. I really feel part of a we when I volunteer at the food bank, sorting, packing food for distribution. Everyone is working and helping each other. Yep. Oh. Okay. Global Luncheons Committee worked together to put this event on. It took all of us. I'm thankful. Yes, thank you. Nice work, Tracy and co. Now more than ever, people need to feel part of something bigger. Absolutely. Which is hard because we're also so isolated. And we can't lose sight of that. We do need to feel a part of something much bigger than ourselves, even when maybe we can't connect in the ways that we used to. Okay, so then as you have these concentric circles, the I, the you, the we, and I started saying, okay, but which of these matter the most? And then all of a sudden, this whole thing shifted for me. And after 10 years of seeing this as a I, you, then a we, I was writing my newest book that came out this year, which I think we're going to do the prize winners for. And all of a sudden, the circles kind of just like shifted for me, and they became this Venn diagram that they overlapped. They all had this sense of equal importance to me. And what I realized was that when we live in the middle, where all 3 of these overlap, is where I think that we live our fullest healthiest, richest life that we can live. And at any given moment, when we're right there in the middle, we can be doing an I matter. Again, you can use the mask example if you want. When I wear a mask, I protect myself. When I wear a mask, it protects somebody next to me. When I wear a mask, and we all protect each other. And when we live there in the middle of all of these is really when I think we're doing our best. And so for me, I use this visual in my mind. And as I go throughout my day, I always just kind of reflect on it. And one of the things, for example, that I have not been doing a great job of since COVID happened is exercise. And that's an I matter thing. Like, I need to take better care of my health, just because I do matter, but also because it matters to my wife, who loves me in a you matter sort of way. And it happens to my friends and my family in kind of this even larger we matter sort of way. So you can start to see how all of these start to relate to anything that we do in life. And I see another comment here. A tenant struggled financially due to COVID-19. We assisted with rent relief. When situation got better for them, tenant expanded. Total teamwork. Love it. That is a beautiful example of all this. So now I just want to just quickly talk about the idea of time. And I don't know. I'm so persistent. You guys don't know me, but I'm so persistent. And I was like, I'm going to get them to share something in the chat. And so, so what I want you to think about is that idea of I matter, you matter, and we matter, and start to think about these kind of concepts of time. So you think about 1 second. Okay, in 1 second, how can I do something for myself in an I matter sort of way? How can I do something for somebody else in a you matter sort of way, or even in a we matter sort of way? So, and maybe you'd be willing to share in the chat maybe what that could look like. You can wave to somebody and you let them know, you see them. It takes 1 second to tell that person you matter. Yes, a compliment, a smile. You can pick up one piece of litter in 1 second, and that's a very we matter thing to do. A hug. Or start to think about 5 seconds. Like, what can you do in 5 seconds? Or you can take this all the way out to a minute, to 5 minutes, to 50 minutes, to 60 minutes. Start thinking about the things that we can do, both personally, but also professionally. Take a deep breath. Absolutely. Say thank you. This idea about a smile is so interesting, because when we are wearing our masks, you can't see the smile, and smiles really do have such a profound impact on our lives in every sort of, oh, here we go. That's a great one. Bringing donuts. Yeah. Take the time to really listen to each other. Absolutely. I make sure that I know the names of over 100 team members I work with. So when I see them, I acknowledge them by name. Wow. That's impressive. But active listening, for sure. One thing that I think that we have gotten kind of away from and kind of bad about is even asking questions, like meaningful questions. To people. It's such a great way to let them know that you see them, that they matter to you. It's a great way to learn more about each other and to build relationship and connection. But we stopped kind of asking questions of each other. Video call grandparents to check in. I love that. It is what it is, but it's obviously Thanksgiving's, next week? We're coming into December, a holiday season. I know that a lot of us are struggling with these big choices of, do we travel? Do we go to see our loved ones? What if I get something while I'm traveling and take it somewhere? I'm dealing with this myself, to go see my mom and dad, who are both in their 80s. And we're having to really kind of dig deep on what does matter most. And And so, we're making the choices to basically self-quarantine for, a week and get tested before we even get up there to see them. And these are just because seeing them is what matters most, and we can find a way to do it, although it's not ideal, but that's how much they matter. And they feel that from us, and it means the world to them. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and share something in the chat. Forgive me here real quick. I'm going to go grab this link. So I'm going to share that link with all of you. So this is a little tool for you to have, and we're going to kind of walk through this together. And if you can, if you want to just print that, if you have access to a printer with you right now, you can print it. Or if you want to pull out a piece of scratch paper and a pen, or if you just kind of want to talk about it, you can always use the PDF later. And I think this is something you can do with yourself, with your friends, your family, your coworkers. It could be something you would do at dinner together. But so at Every Monday Matters, like, we're all about action, and so we like to help people kind of make plans, and this doesn't have to be like, okay, we're going to make 18 New Year's resolutions all at the same time. This is going to be, let's keep it simple, right? But it's kind of like, okay, now that I understand this idea of I matter, you matter, we matter, I understand, like, I can do it in different increments of time, and it's actually pretty simple to do and very meaningful. So now it's kind of this, okay, so now what am I going to do? And so if you think about it from a personal perspective, and you think, okay, this is how I live my life. And so when you think about I matter, what are, let's say, three commitments that you are willing to make, three things that you are willing to start doing to really reinforce for yourself how much you matter? What are three things that you can or are willing to do? Meditate. That's a great one. Self-reflection. Yep. Exercise regularly. Be present, be kind, and be more tolerant. Bam. There's your three. For those of you, and I know that some of you mentioned that you had children in your I Am Grateful presentation. Again, I know how hard it is right now with your kids being home, and we're seeing it all over the country. It's just really, really challenging. And my guess is that your bowls are feeling pretty empty, and you're constantly having to give, and maybe this I matter thing might be a little lacking for you right now. And so it's so important, though, for us to still take that time to take care of ourselves, and because we have to take care of ourselves in order to be there for others as well. Get organized, take daily inventory physically, how I physically feel, invest in what makes me happy. Yeah, what does make you happy? And how often do you do that thing that does make you happy? Like if someone said to you, hey, you have an extra hour today to go do whatever it is you want to make you feel good and happy, you know what you would do? Like, instantly, this is what I would go do. Some of you might say, absolutely, I would go surf in a heartbeat. But some of you might say, I haven't thought about what I would do with an extra hour for myself. Be kinder to myself. That's a big one. we beat ourselves up very, very well, and we shouldn't. Back to the initial I matter thing of I'm perfectly imperfect, those sorts of things. I'm worthy, I belong. Okay, so also our personal life then. How do I live this more in a you matter sort of way? Reach out to people I haven't spoken to for a while. Absolutely. Yeah. Listen, volunteer. I think one of the reasons why I do the work that I do is because of that experience I went through so many years ago when it was so dark and bad, that I realized like this whole new spectrum of human emotions, like how bad people could really feel. And I'm not saying that a lot of people are out there feeling to that level of what I felt, but we do know that things like anxiety and depression and alcohol use and all these things are up right now. And so I just kind of have this assumption in my mind that even like as I'm out at the grocery store or whatever, like I never know what that other person's going through. Um, but I'm just going to assume and feel pretty confident that if I say something nice to them, if I give them some sort of gesture, it's going to be meaningful. And so, especially now when there is a lot of tension and anxiety and fears, I just go out of my way even more just to say, hey, hope you're having a nice day, or hey, love your jacket, or whatever the thing is, um, just to help people kind of snap out of this kind of, lockdown, kind of bubbled off kind of place that they're in. Pay more attention. Yep. Okay. So for We Matter, I saw someone already said to volunteer. This we thing is a little hard because how much can we gather in person as a we is feels a little limited right now. And then I'm going to switch over really quickly here to the professional side of things. And you'll see in the PDF that if you guys downloaded it, there's one of these diagrams for you to do when you want for your personal life, and then also one for you to do for your professional life as well. And so I'm just going to bring all these up, and maybe there's some things that come up for you, like as you think about your work, you think about what a year it's been. What are some commitments that you'd be willing to make in an I matter, you matter, we matter sort of way that you could really bring to your professional life? Set healthy boundaries. That's a huge one. We are seeing this also everywhere, that the line between work and not work is very, very thin and blurry right now because we're all working from home. Thoughtful conversations with team members. Absolutely. More understanding. So one of the things that I'm processing right now is I'm so proud and grateful for my team here at Every Monday Matters, the way the team has stepped up to meet this increased demand, especially on the education side, where now we have obviously distance learning, in-program learning, online learning. We're now leading classes ourselves for students. They have worked so hard. And what I'm really going through in my mind is, how do I let them know how much I appreciate them and how grateful I am for them? And there's a part of me that says I want to give them some sort of like COVID bonus or something. And there's a part of me that says, maybe it's not about that. Maybe it's just about meaningful conversations, like Danielle said here. But just being really aware of how I can show the team, how much I appreciate everything that they've done through this year, especially because it's been a tricky one. I'm going to wait on that one. How much time do I have? Okay, I'm not going to wait on that one. So what I want to do is then come back to this here. And this is, I guess, at the end of the day, when for me personally, this is my life mission, and is to help people be able to fill out and complete this statement. It's the same question I asked of those boys from Watoto. And I think ultimately, again, like the idea that I know all of us want to feel loved and feel seen and heard and like we belong, and we just go out there and we just want to feel good, right? And my life mission is to help people understand how much and why they matter, as you know. And so I used to do something super cruel, and they used to have these video cameras called flip camera. And I would like bring people on stage like during my keynotes, and they'd line up and they would each say, my name is, and I matter because, and they would kind of fill out that statement on with the microphone in front of their peers. And it's amazing and it's awesome, but I also used to videotape them, which is the cool part, in my opinion. But maybe if some of you see this, I matter because, and if something comes to you, which I actually believe is going to be very related to your statements that you put in your gratitude, in the gratitude video, maybe you'd be willing to share in the chat right now. And you don't have to put the my name is part. You could just say the I matter part. Maybe for some of you, just saying I matter is enough of a next step. Just to type the two words I matter is like, wow, like I've never said that before. I matter. Or maybe you have a lot more clarity around the I matter because part, and you could fill in the blank. So any brave souls out there willing to share an I matter because statement? And if not, no judgment here whatsoever. I know that you just met me. We've been together for what, 50 minutes on video. It's a lot to process. I matter because of my kids. Bam. And just knowing that, it's like your North Star. Like I matter because I'm a boss, a wife, a daughter, a friend, and a dog mom. Yes, our furry kids deserve the love and attention as well. I matter because I'm an original. You are one of 8 billion, roughly 8 billion people in the world, and there's only one just like you, Carrie. So that's great. I matter because I have 7 kids who look up to me and call me grandpa. Wow. I matter because I care for others. I matter because I try hard. I matter because I can have an impact on others. Something tells me that you already do have an impact on others, but I love that statement. So because God created me and wants me to find my purpose. Love that. And so here's the power of this statement for everyone. I think once you get clear on this, even when the seas get rough and like it's been a year that it's been, I've had this personal mission statement in my heart, and it's so clear that my name is Matt and I matter because I get to help other people understand how much and why they matter. And every morning when I get up, that's what I think about. And as long as I stay on point with that, regardless of what's going on around me, I feel like I'm living my life filled with purpose and meaning and significance. And I'm not wasting time, and I'm doing what I'm put here to do. And so I hope for all of you, you find that thing as well, that every morning you just wake up with such clarity and passion and excitement because you're clear on why you matter and how much you matter. So there's a bunch coming in now. I love to listen to others tell their stories. I matter because I exist. I matter because I see the good in people. Well, I just want to say thank you to everybody. I love this quote, and I won't read it out loud to you, but you can read it. I just think it's a beautiful and really important one. I really appreciate you guys letting me come and speak with all of you and talking about stuff that's, pretty human and real. but hopefully this felt good for all of you. And my last job. Oh, by the way, if anyone wants to reach out and be in contact with me, I do know that sometimes talking about this stuff can kind of surface things. And if anyone needs to chat, or just wants to kind of talk further, please reach out to me. I'm an open book, as you can tell. And my final job is that I get to introduce to you Stacy Nishioki from Beaumont, and she's going to wrap us up. There's Stacy Nishioka.
Hello there.
But we can't see you.
Can everybody see me?
No, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's try this again. I can see myself. You can't see me?
Now we can.
All right. All right. Well, thank you so much, Matthew. You did a great job. I'm super excited about the I matter, you matter, we matter. It's so important these days. I think now more than ever. So great message. And thank you so much for all your time today. So I'm Stacy Nishioka. I'm with Irvine Company and Beaumont Orange County past president. Just wanted to thank everybody for joining today. This was a great program and certainly well timed. We did have some technical difficulties earlier with a couple of slides. So it's my job to make sure that we thank our sponsors again. And so up on your screen, hopefully everyone can see, we want to thank all of our speaker sponsors. So they are on your screen: Able Services, ABM, Allied Universal, MCOR Services, and Blue Sky Harborough. Then I also want to thank our BOMA annual sponsors. And you can see them all on your screen. I can run through them real quick. Able Services, ABM, Allied Universal, MCOR Services, LBA Realty and LBA Logistics, DTS, Greenlaw, Castle Systems, Long Beach Roofing, RMC, CCS, Gothic Landscape, GP Pro, Parking Concepts, Servitech, Roofing Resources, and SP Plus. And to our Town Hall Committee members, let's see if we've got that on the slide. We also want to thank all of our committee members who put this luncheon and virtual Town Hall Committee. Thank you. We've got everybody up on the screen here. And then also our December BOMA events that Karen had mentioned earlier. We didn't have the slide up earlier, so please take a look at your screen. We have 2 events coming up here in December. So the Toast and Farewell to 2020 is going to be held December 10th at the winery. And then we've got our charitable event that's going to be held December 16th, which is a drive-through donation. And that is being sponsored by our philanthropic committee. So thank you very much for your participation in that. And then this is what my main job is today, is I'm here to do some raffle prizes. And so it's a real interesting concept. We're actually raffling off 15-minute Zoom calls with some executives throughout Beaumont Orange County. And so I am here to draw the winners today. And if you look, I actually have my bowl of little candidates. These are all participants from today's call. I'm going to pick them all at random. And I don't know why I'm listed very first, but let's see who the lucky winner is. Let's see, picking randomly from the bowl. I have, woo, Georgette Taylor. You got 15 minutes with me, girl. LBA Realty, Georgette Taylor is our first winner. Congrats, Georgette. Okay, so the next winner is going to get 15 minutes with Melanie Colbert, principal at LBA Realty. That's a heavy hitter. Boy, let's see who's going to win that one. Let's see. Ooh, this is another great winner. Araceli Negretti from OmniNet Property Management. Congratulations, Araceli. Good job. Exciting. Next winner will receive 15 minutes on a Zoom call with Peggy Sanchez. Woohoo! All right. Peggy Sanchez is Managing Director at River Rock Real Estate, and the winner is Brian Bonomo from CBRE. Awesome. Congrats. All right. Whoa, the next lucky winner will get 15 minutes with Angela Gomez-Jones, and I'm sure she's going to have some wine for you all. The winner is, whoa, Vicki Thomas, Cushman and Wakefield. Good job, Vicki. Congrats. And our last, final VIP that we are going to be raffling off 15-minute Zoom meeting with has been a surprise VIP. I just got notified that our surprise VIP is actually going to be Mike Kent. So let's see who is our lucky winner with Mike Kent. I'm going to draw from the bottom. Cassie Den, Irvine Company. Woohoo! That is our last and final winner. However, I know we do have some books as well. Let's see. Congratulations to all of our winners. Our VIPs will be given your contact information, and we will reach out directly to you for scheduling of your Zoom calls. In addition, Matthew Emerzian will autograph books, and we will be sending them out to 10 lucky winners. So very exciting that we'll be also raffling off some books. Attendees, you might be a winner, so please keep an eye out for your email from BOMA Orange County tomorrow. We'll be notifying those additional winners at that particular time. And also, if you missed the I Am Grateful deck, slide deck that we played earlier before the presentation, we are going to be playing that again. So please stay on the call. We'll be playing it one more time so that we can thank everybody and see who everybody is grateful for and what everyone's grateful for. We again thank all of our sponsors. Our annual partners are on the slide right now. Thank you everyone for attending today's lunch program. BOMA Orange County would like to wish everyone a safe and happy holiday season, and we look forward to 2021. Thanks again.